Well, welcome to Manchester United video. I hope you share with me some of the great moments of the season. And what I've done is I've picked up several games over the season which I think, and I'm sure you will agree, they were absolutely enthralling, exciting, entertaining matches. Full of action, drama, controversy. So sit back and enjoy them with me. I know you will. The two powers at the moment are ourselves and Arsenal, so any game against them is going to be very, very important.
Cantona, and he puts one in, almost wipes the smile off their faces. It's Lee Sharp again.
They set the stall in the system and making sure that they've got most players marked or covered and things like that. And it sometimes needs something special. And we got that in the shape of Eric's goal. We got a free kick just outside the box. I think Ince touched it to the side and he's hit this shot, unbelievable power into top corner. And they now went off to celebrate, you know. But it was a good result. We were a better. I think we were the better side, all right. And we could have maybe had something 1 or 2 in the second half. But winning the big one's important. It stretched the lead between us and the Arsenal, and that was special to me in that sense, because I always look upon Arsenal as the one you're going to beat, and they're probably saying the same about us.
Equivalent of the immovable object and the irresistible force. Trophies aplenty from last season's endeavours. Manchester United will kick off. Mark Hughes restored to the side. Their first defeat in 17 league games at Chelsea last weekend. Both teams pretty much on a par in their achievements in Europe in midweek.
And no surprise, 16 seconds, first free kick.
Jensen, the culprit. Owen into Hughes. Here's Pallister. Giggs has already made a run across from the right-hand side. Exquisite control.
But that's an example, Mark, we're talking about. In a normal four, Nigel Winterburn would not have tracked him all the way across. And there's a little example of what they've been told, man for man.
Off the head of Adams, Cantona. Adams going all the way to prevent the corner. Pallister trying to flick this one on. Linnigan was there. Roy Keane wearing number 16. 18 for Arsenal is David Hillier, brought back into the side today. A type of tenacious player, disciplined, that George Graham holds in such high regard. He's asking for discipline from his team here, tactically and temperamentally as well. Ince, as he was caught by Adams, the advantage played by the referee. One or two calling cards left early on in the tackling. Martin Keown on the right side of Arsenal's defending, because Lee Dixon is still out of contention, although he hopes to play in a reserve game on Tuesday. That was a slightly offline from Bruce to Schmeichel. A word or two exchanged. Hughes. Roy Keane's run has taken him away from Hillier. McGoldrick, the sweeper, has to go across, and he can't prevent the cross, which is scooped up by Seaman.
Well, the problem with man for man is if one of your men goes to sleep. And Roy Keane got away from his marker there, and he dug out a very good cross indeed. And Hughes did everything right.
Winterburn inviting Campbell to run on here. Took two to stop him.
Looking for the handball, Martin.
Campbell was, but he didn't get too much support from his colleagues, and certainly not from the referee. Sharp. Here's Ince. Cantona. We're coming into areas where the defenders aren't tracking them. It's as if it's against the natural instincts of the likes of Linnigan and Adams, because George Graham was telling me before the game that they could go if Cantona and Hughes drop deep. Well, they are dropping deep, and they're turning and threatening Arsenal. Just have a look at the Arsenal thing, Andy.
We can have a little look at the incident. As the ball comes up here with Kevin Campbell, flicks it up there. I think it does hit him on the left hand, but I think there's no real intent from Steve Bruce, and not an awful lot he could have done about that.
Oh, wait.
But with all new systems, Arsenal are just finding at the back especially just one or two teething problems.
What they are at pains to point out that it is not exclusively a negative thing.
I think the first 10 minutes suggest that. They've gone forward as often as they can every time they've had the ball.
Lovely work by Hughes and Cantona. The pair in perfect harmony here. Oh, it's missed by Hillier. Keen to clip it back. Cantona to volley. It's still in play. Keane. Now Ince struck Winterburn. Adams the tallest. Ince is there again. Giggs with a flick. Linnigan. Where's it going to end? Well, there's a bit of order restored by Keown's pass. And here's Merson. Is this the stage for him? Pallister. Here's Parker. Hughes can tee it up for Cantona. Oh. Deflection. Seaman was stranded by it, stood and watched and prayed that the ball went outside the post, which it did.
But here's a perfect example of why Mark Hughes, from anywhere in the pitch, he can be found. He's so aware of other players. And just as well for Arsenal, Eddie McGoldrick got in the way.
Two headers by Merson and then by Hillier from the corner. Manchester United, you might remember, started the Charity Shield very well. Scored early on. Arsenal had the resolve and the resilience to get back. And although it was decided by a penalty shootout, really to all intents and purposes that was a day in which honours were even. David Seaman, of course, did miss the crucial penalty, or should we say Peter Schmeichel saved from his opposite number today. Prior to that, the meeting in South Africa. And even since the last league game between the two clubs, Manchester United went to Highbury for David O'Leary's benefit. Giggs. Lovely ball from Cantona to where he was sure Hughes was going to run. It's a tussle here that the referee's just got to keep an eye on in case it got out of hand.
Oh, never mind the tussle. The football before it was quite wonderful. Wonderful stuff.
12 minutes played, Manchester United's corner. Not short of height, Arsenal, when it comes to defending. That was Keown that time. Cantona clipping it in. Adams emphasising the point about the aerial defensive strength. Keane. Bruce. Manchester United with a lot of players committed forward. Arsenal had only left Ian Wright as a way out, but what a way out. Stopped by Paul Ince, the man that Ian Wright himself calls the governor. Off Merson. Great touch by Giggs. There's so much to admire at the moment. Much of it coming from Manchester United. But Arsenal...
That was that area though, Mark, that Paul Parker can get himself into. And Arsenal, the formation they've got, unless the two front men are prepared to work wide when they lose the ball, then you can see Manchester United getting an awful lot of joy there.
Giggs, Hughes. And Giggs gets there before Winterburn. Cantona. I think he was hoping to have it in a position, the cross, so that he could head it back towards the run of Mark Hughes rather than go for goal.
That's what I mean about Giggs cutting inside Winterburn. Just for a moment I thought, go on, pull the trigger yourself with that left foot, but he opted for the cross.
Right, now there might be something on for Arsenal here. Right for Campbell. Alistair, the closest defender to him. Jensen's got him to the centre. Campbell goes it alone. Wright was waiting all the while on the edge of the area for a ball that didn't come.
Now, Steve Bruce, Martin, took an awful whack. You see the cut, look at the blood pouring down his face. An awful whack in the challenge with Kevin Campbell. And he'll have to go off and get something done with that. But watch this good defending from Gary Pallister. Doesn't commit himself, look at that, holds himself up, makes the tackle, and with a little bit of help with Paul Ince gets away with it. But just look at left ear picture, Ian Wright's position, just waiting to be laid back to.
Well, Steve Bruce will have to go off here for running repairs, and it's a long run to the tunnel, of course, nowadays.
We see this clash again. Kevin Campbell and he go up for it. You can see down he goes immediately, holding the right side of his head, just about the temple area. That's a nasty one.
Well, it's one of the great qualities, as Alex Ferguson will appreciate, of Steve Bruce, that he does put his head in.
Well, one area he didn't have to worry about at all last season was the centre of his defence. It's a shame because Manchester United have had to go a bit more defensive. They've only got 3 up front now.
Well, Paul Parker's gone to the centre of defence, where he's played before, of course. Lee Sharp at left back. He's no stranger to that. But we mentioned at the outset that the back four hasn't changed since November. But it's got to change temporarily here.
Well, is it a case of enter Ryan Giggs?
Well, Dennis Irwin, who's moved to right back in this defensive reshuffle, has stayed out of the situation at the moment.
Ian Wright's took himself right back in there.
Because he spotted where Irwin was,
yeah,
in case they rolled it across the face of the area. But it is Giggs, and it's of no consequence to David Seaman at the end.
It looked very close, that wall, to me as well. Looked nothing like 10 yards. This is the harder side for Ryan Giggs to try and put it into.
This is more what Jensen's about, doing a bit of midfield hustling here, but he can't stop Ince releasing the ball for Giggs. Where's that going to drop? It's behind for the corner. For a fraction of a second, David Seaman thought it might have looped in behind him for an own goal.
Again, the movement from this side, Manchester United. Look, Giggs there. Watch the flick from Cantona. Superb stuff. And that could have been a bizarre own goal.
Hughes! And that could easily have been a goal for Manchester United from a set piece. Schmeichel knows how near it was, but no one knows more than Hughes. But it was a sort of fleeting chance that in these matches have to be taken, really. Jensen. Oh, Parker. Now Schmeichel.
Oh, that's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. In the heat of the moment, with an instant decision to make, that's magnificent from the goalkeeper.
I doubt if it would have been counted as a back pass, but he wasn't prepared to take that risk. The applause is for Bruce. The head bandaged. And the total willingness to get involved again. And Paul Parker, I think, would be quite happy to get back to right back.
Yes, he will. But let's have a look at that miss earlier from Mark Hughes. I think it's Cantona who gets the touch in the near post. Mark Hughes will be wondering why on earth he hasn't put Manchester United ahead. But here's Schmeichel. Can you imagine how quickly he has to make his mind up? Look, the hand went up, down it came again. I mean, that header could have gone anywhere. But we saw it Norwich earlier in the season. He's quite comfortable volleying the ball away, isn't he?
Parker was just going for the ball. They still haven't quite settled down after it, I don't think. Steve Bruce saw it only as a spectator coming back from the tunnel. But he's there to plug any gaps that Arsenal might feel were opening up in Bruce's absence. Campbell. Oh, that's a stray one. One number 7 to the other. Cantona for Giggs. Alistair there again.
Hasn't lost anything at all upstairs. Gary Palliser dominated everything.
Sharp. Giggs trying to fill in the centre. Here's Parker. Arsenal making Manchester United play it around at the back, hoping to do their marking as the ball comes further forward, but Giggs able to lay it off for Irwin. Here's Sharp. Now it's Hughes. There's a bit of a obstruction there by Hillier on it. The referee saw it that way. Arm raised. Indirect free kick.
I'm not so sure how much David Hillier could have done about the situation though. And Paul Ince played the little 1-2. It's another dangerous situation for Arsenal to deal with. And Dennis Irwin has come across to this one now. It's more suitable for a right footer. And Eric Cantona looks as if he fancies it.
On the biggest stage, he is the master performer. Oh, says Alec Ferguson. Oh, indeed.
I think the word was magnifique that Fergie was stretching for, and that would describe that fittingly. Because David Seaman sees an awful lot of this. Watch. He sees an awful lot of the ball. But look at the venom and the accuracy of that free kick. I remember I was critical of the Newcastle goalkeeper over Ryan Giggs' free kick. But nothing the goalkeeper could do about that.
And everything he does has the brush of a master about him. Well, you talk about the type of character needed to come and play at a club as big as Manchester United. It's not always to do with individual ability. You have to have the self-belief as well, and no one's got that in greater quantity than Cantona. A man, it seems, made for Manchester United.
He's got an arrogance about him as well, and I mean that in the nicest way possible, that he knows what he can do, and he's so sure of his own ability.
Well, in the old days, the French aristocracy, they used to chop off their heads, didn't they? That's what Arsenal will have to do to try and stop him today. It's almost as if Cantona has thrown down the gauntlet to Paul Merson. Perhaps he's the nearest player in style that Arsenal have. Maybe Ian Wright would have a view on that. Here's Sharp. But isn't it wonderful when the great games produce great goals? Not always the case, but it's certainly the case here.
Well, they produced 2 great goals in the Charity Shield.
Cantona for Irwin. Hughes doing everything to climb, maybe doing a bit of pushing as well on Winterburn. But the back heel was beautiful.
Let's have a look at the free kick again. Just watch how cleanly he hits this. It's not that he doesn't save it, he can't get anywhere near it.
Happy birthday, David. Not the sort of present he wanted from Eric Cantona. Seaman 30 this afternoon. Jensen. tucked away. Bruce won't flinch at any of those, you can be sure. Here's Parker. Keane. Sharp. Well, he lost the ball, Lee Sharp, but he didn't even look back to where Dennis Irwin could have been available for a safe pass. It's very much in the minds of Manchester United at the moment to maximise their attacking skills. There's a wonderful optimism about their football. Didn't come off, as I said, for Lee Sharp here, but he was trying to make it uncomfortable for defenders.
He certainly made it uncomfortable for David Elliott. That's could be a very sore one there.
Paul Davis, who was left out of the starting 11 today, as George Graham changed his tactics. Higgs. Showtime.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, what a nightmare it must be for a full-back these days, faced against this sort of ability. Just watch his feet if you can. I mean, he's so quick. Look at that. That's breathtaking. It's been a smashing first half, it really has.
Now running 4 minutes of time added on. Schmeichel just biding his time, wanting to get Manchester United safely into the dressing room with the lead intact. Well, that's an effort on target from Schmeichel.
Do we count that as a shot on goal, I wonder?
Seaman replying in kind. Over Bruce. Campbell. Quickly away by Irwin. Adams trying to keep the pressure on. It's just looking as though Arsenal are feeling the effects of losing the first goal of the game. The way it happened. Well, it's not the half-time whistle. It's a free kick to Arsenal. A free kick to take your breath away, a shot that almost took the net away. A fabulous effort from the Frenchman, the class of Cantona. The difference between the two sides here at Old Trafford. At half-time, it's Manchester United 1, Arsenal 0.
Cantona's goal, really, I would pay to watch him, yeah. I really would. I think is in the context of what you would deem a world-class player, and I look at the players around the world, and I would say he must be in the top bracket of the world-class players now.
Just wonder if Arsenal are changing right from the start. I notice Eddie McGoldrick's actually lining up on the right-hand side of midfield, Martin. I wonder if that's a sign that George has said enough of the sweeper system. In fact, he's going with three centre-backs. He's going with Martin Keown, Tony Adams and Andy Linnigan. As he's three centre-backs and he's moved Eddie up. And I think that's to give him a little bit more flair and quality on the right side. Because Martin Keown's not the best user of a ball. And he had big spaces to go into the first half. And Arsenal couldn't use it. The one thing Eddie McGoldrick can do is use the ball.
Yes, it's looking like a straight swap between Keown and McGoldrick. Eddie McGoldrick also might, of course, get into a position to score a goal. He got 10 in all competitions for Crystal Palace last season. His best ever total. Right, McGoldrick. Here's Jensen, Arsenal a goal down. One Dane takes on another.
Well, there's an improvement from the first half facts. One more shot and goal than he had first half. Or at goal. But I think they'll benefit from that simple shift of Eddie McGoldrick, because he'll give them a quality out there that they didn't have in the first half.
Cantona, here's Keown in the centre now. Linnigan. Oh, he's hounded by Ince. kick against Campbell. Arsenal change things in the centre of defence. Worth mentioning that Steve Bold is fully fit again. He's an important member of two championship-winning sides. Was in the party that went to Denmark for the European tie in midweek. Was a non-playing substitute. Again shows the courage of Bruce as well as his capability in the air. Hughes. Now Parker. Hughes wasn't giving that one up. And he was trying to clip it to Cantona when Giggs was in a very inviting position, much easier to find.
Just had the blinkers on there, I think, Mark Hughes, didn't he?
And so well to win the ball. Corner for us.
But there's an example of the difference, Mark, as that cross came in from Paul Merson. The lone figure of Ian Wright in the penalty area. Had that been the red shirts attacking, you bet your life they'd had 4 or 5 in that penalty box.
Well, that bandage seemed to be lifting up on the head of Steve Bruce. Whether he'll have to go off for further attention, hardly secure. Schmeichel one-handed initially. That terrific throw of his. Linesman flagging for, I think, a foul by Keown on Giggs. And Vic Callow wanting to keep the game going. Manchester United had the ball. Ince. All the concerted attacking play coming from Manchester United. And Ince, oh dear. They'd opened up Arsenal, and that's not easy to do, particularly with this formation.
Steve Bruce is trying to get that back. I think he's better off with it off.
Leaning down by the elbow of Bruce on right.
This is this free kick they use, Mark. They just roll it back to Nigel Winterburn, and he just hits a straight ball up towards Tony Adams, so it's got a bit of backspin on it, and then they go for the pieces. They just knock this straight if they play it normal.
There it goes. It's spinning viciously. Adams could have paid off. It might yet with the second ball headed in by McGoldrick. Right. Prods it goalwards. Adams is in there. Appeals for handball. A shot from Jensen. The appeal for handball incidentally against Adams. Against the Manchester United defender. Vic Callow has given the game every chance to flow. And United with Giggs a matter of inches away from getting the better of Merson, who's not always known for his defensive capabilities, but covered up well for Arsenal there. Bruce has to go off. Jim McGregor applies another bandage. Sharp. Cantona off his head by Seaman when Linegan was a little tentative. But Arsenal recognising that there's space to move forward with McGoldrick.
The pass has got to be better in this United half. Giving the ball away far too cheaply at times.
Well, it is a criticism that's levelled at Arsenal as they try and get the bandaging right this time on Bruce.
Oh, wonderful.
Here's Giggs. It was Ince who got the ball. Can Sharp get the goal here? He can't. The roots of that for Manchester United in a thumping but totally fair tackle by Paul Ince.
That's a little cameo of Manchester United at times. It really is. Ince winning the ball. And then it goes from there to the players with the skill and the speed and the pace.
Merson. Well, at the risk of repeating what I've said in the past, Merson is a scorer of great goals rather than a great goal scorer. And you just wondered for Manchester United then, as they allowed him time. But prior to that, let's look again at Paul Ince, the powerhouse.
Just look at the way he's working to get the ball back. And as it breaks here, just watch this for a tackle. In he comes. Lovely stuff. And from there, they were off and running. Look at them. Look at them getting forward. Sharp's first touch is excellent, but he gets tied underneath his feet a little bit. And that's what made it a little bit more difficult.
Parker. The game finished level here in this fixture last season and the season before. The sides finished 1-1 in the Charity Shield after 90 minutes.
Oh, I think we knew it wasn't going to be a 3-3. Both these defences are very miserly.
Keane. Merson. It's Campbell. It's a chance for Arsenal. And Dennis Irwin, Mr. Dependable, stopped an equaliser there. Arsenal will feel that Campbell might have improved in what the outcome was.
Martin, it was good defending, but Kevin Campbell should never have allowed Dennis Irwin a chance. Hit that with your left foot. He wanted it to run over to his strong right side, and that decision proved very costly for Arsenal, because it gave Dennis Irwin the split second he needed to get the tackle. If he opted to go with his left foot, there would have been nothing at all Dennis Irwin could have done about the situation.
A warning for Manchester United that the game is by no means over. Well, Kevin Campbell, who comes here in good form with his hat-trick recently against Ipswich, didn't want to take a chance on his left foot then. Nigel Winterburn almost demanding for the ball to come. David Seaman thought once, thought twice, and then kicks it towards Ian Wright, and kicks it well towards Wright.
That's the best piece of long service Ian Wright's had.
Jensen. For Wright, it's a brilliant pass, spotted by Schmeichel. Campbell, Schmeichel is there, a double save of high order. But Arsenal are starting to show signs of clicking.
Well, it's the first time Ian Wright's been given the type of service he needs. That's a fabulous ball that Paul Parker can do nothing about. But that's great goalkeeping by Peter Schmeichel. He's quickly on his feet, he stands big, and Kevin Campbell doesn't do enough for me there.
The pass from John Jensen, which really sliced away through Manchester United. But Schmeichel saw it coming.
There's been so few of them though, hasn't there, for Arsenal? And you can see what Ian Wright's capable of if he's released with the right type of ball.
What will be the response from Alex Ferguson's team? Giggs. Well, Hughes was ducking down, to be fair to Linegan. Campbell. United back off. Campbell's got a ball on here for Winterburn. And now he joins Wright in the centre. It comes to Ian Wright. Well, there wasn't much of an angle there to find Campbell in that situation.
It was an intelligent ball from Nigel Winterburn, Martin, because he looked up, saw there was no real target in the box. Instead of aimlessly hitting it in there, he picked out Ian Wright very cleverly. But this has been the best 5 minutes of the match for Arsenal, in a positive sense.
Cantona. Giggs diving in. If he'd really thrown himself at it, perhaps he might have got power towards goal.
Nigel Winterburn does quite well, because he's in the field attacking only seconds ago. Now he's got to get back and perform defensive duties, and he just does enough to put Ryan Giggs off a clean header.
Adams. Linegan momentarily finding himself in the right back slot. Right. Now McGoldrick. Merson's jogged into the centre. Wright taking on Palace and beating him. Can he find Merson? Here he does. But this time it's Paul Parker on the spot as Manchester United show again why they don't leak too many goals.
Now that is great defending. First of all, it's superb skill. He leaves Gary Pallister standing. But watch this for a defensive tackle. Absolutely superb from Paul Parker.
Just under 18 minutes left. Arsenal, a goal down. Linnigan. Campbell. Another corner.
Well, you have to say, Martin, they certainly are knocking on the door now, aren't they?
Back to McGoldrick from Jensen. Arsenal lining up in the centre. Schmeichel helps it on his way.
They'll be a little bit disappointed, Eddie McGoldrick. He played it into any that really gives the keeper, hey, come on, goalkeeper, you can get this. And he's normally better than that. But that's teaching the goalkeeper, and he doesn't disappoint his defenders.
Winterburn. Well, Giggs helped out then. Still only 19 years old. Still learning his trade. But capable of electrifying skill. Part of the entertainment on view at Old Trafford. Sharp. In a similar vein, Cantona, who's got the strength. Linnigan went in. They bay for a penalty here. Nothing given. First of all, you wonder whether Cantona would have the meat to hold off Andy Linnigan then. He often does that to defenders.
Watch it very carefully. The referee doesn't have the advantage. Linnigan commits himself there. It's a difficult one, even for you and I, Martin, now. It's difficult. So you can imagine what a difficult decision it was for Vic Callow.
Bruce now biting back the comments that came out rather vehemently. Talk about giving blood to the cause. That Wright was fouling him then. Frustrating him. Wright played the ball then. And was very careful to do so. Cantona. Manchester United going to find a second win here, and with it a second goal. Well, it's the contest not for the faint-hearted.
He's only beaten here by a quick footwork there. You see that? He's caught in a rather delicate area. With Tony Adams' knee.
Sharp to take the free kick. Maybe to whip this one in. Any sort of flick might do for Manchester United. Sharp again, goes for goal this time, and it was a bright idea from an intelligent player.
Yeah, you can see exactly what's in his mind. He's looking for that far side, but it's just a little bit high.
George Graham going to make a double change. David Hillier and also Paul Merson comes off as well. The player about whom George Graham has said some kind words for his talent, not always so kind about Merson's appetite for the game. And on come Alan Smith and Paul Davis. Remember last season Manchester United took 4 points from the 2 games against Arsenal. Are they going to get 3 points here? They could really sew it up if they get a second, and that was Giggs trying to do that for the deep ball by Hughes. Oh, and they claim that it must be a corner.
Great vision for Hughes. Initially he wanted to pick out Eric Cantona, who'd come near post, but Roy Keane was in there as well, and it blocked it off. But very good defending by John Jensen. Difficult to see who got the touch on it.
Pallister in powerfully. Well, he's got something to smile about, George Graham. It's certainly not the scoreline.
Well, they've sent everyone up now. Keown, Linnigan, Adams. There's plenty height in there.
Davis delivers it. Cantona. His goal would be a worthy winner if it turns out that way. Schmeichel throwing it, whether putting Sharp in trouble, we shall see. Sharp with a great answer to that question. Here's Giggs, Cantona is free in the centre. Oh, Keown hardly touched it, maybe just deflected it enough to unsettle. But there's Hughes here, who was balked as the move developed and was down on the ground, has now, one can only assume, retaliated here. Now what did the referee see?
Well, he must have seen more than you and I, because watching the play we totally missed it.
Hughes receives a yellow card. And I must say my feelings for a moment were that it would be more than that. Hughes went down first, there was no doubt about that, as the ball was on the far side here.
It's difficult to know if we can see anything from here. It's very blood. It looks more a clash again than anything. More of a push. And I think had it been any more serious than that, Martin, then it would have been red and not yellow, the card.
Well, the tension has never dropped, as is always the way when Manchester United take on Arsenal. Somehow summing up the north-south divide. Cantona. Giggs. Trying to give Keown a problem. McGoldrick's there as cover, but Keown didn't need him. 3 minutes plus stoppage time left. And that could, as Andy said, be anything up to another 5 minutes. Sharp. For Hughes, he's in front of Adams. I think he was aware of Cantona's position, maybe just tried a little back flick to steer it to him. Flag is up.
Now let's throw everyone forward. I'm very surprised if Martin Keown and even Andy Linnigan don't go up there and just hope for a little knockdown.
Into the mixer it goes. Smith. Wright claims that that was deflected behind, but more with hope than expectation. It looks as though he's drawn another blank on this ground. It's a type of day when Arsenal could do with a bits and pieces goal from somebody else. That's one of the weaknesses, really. They have relied so much on Wright. They haven't scored a goal here. The defending champions have beaten arguably their most capable challengers. Manchester United with a major victory for Alex Ferguson, earned by a splendid goal by Eric Cantona, an outstanding shot, and they also had the appetite to see it through in the closing stages. No repetition of last weekend's loss to London opposition. Arsenal a resistible force today. Manchester United still very much the immovable object at Old Trafford. Manchester United 1, Arsenal 0.
I'd heard by the referee if they see blood it's not allowed or something like that, so I had to go off. So it was just one of them things, you know. I mean, it wasn't causing any problem. It just looks a bit worse than it is, probably. He's fantastic. He's great to play alongside, and looks a bit silly with the head now, but he's great.
When we got around to playing him the return leg at the Highbury, it was so controversial that the controversy about the sending off superseded the fact it was an enthralling match, and there were 4 goals, and it also marked the return of Wee Sharp to the team with 2 goals.
It was good because, I mean, I weren't properly fit. The manager just took a gamble. He says, you know, you always do well at Arsenal. I'll stick you in. Try and save your energy. Don't come back too often. Just stay up front and all this.
Sounds perfect, that, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I was loving it.
Full of commitment, blood thundering tackles all over the place, great commitment from players, and it marked down the importance and the the prestige of both Arsenal and Manchester United are at the moment in English football.
Arsenal may be going well in Europe, but they're not living up to the bookies' tip that they were going to be the main challengers to Manchester United. 15 points gap at the start of the game, and United have been without Lee Sharp, who makes his first appearance of 1994 after his hernia operation. Referee tonight is Vic Callow. He's about to get the game underway. United need to win tonight to go 8 points clear of Blackburn, who have a game in hand. And an early touch for Lee Sharp, who has good memories of this particular ground. 3 years ago he made his name here with a hat-trick. David Seaman, the man who Terry Venables has plumped for, is the #1 England goalkeeper. Away by Pallister. Roy Keane and an early tussle with John Jensen. That should be an interesting, if not pretty, battle. Ryan Giggs playing tonight from the start on the right wing. Goal kick to Arsenal, who lie in third place. They've already lost this season to United. Eric Cantona, the scorer of the sole goal in the game back in September. Little teasing ball for Steve Bruce. Giggs floating in from the wing to go down the centre, but going to be applause every time an Arsenal player wins the ball tonight. Tense out there. Large contingent of England players in this Arsenal team. Lee Dixon and Tony Adams, the Arsenal captain, with a free kick, but not a particularly good one. Here comes Bold. Davis. Nigel Winterburn loves to get forward. Going to be a bit of a handful for Paul Parker. Davis never looks rushed. Arsenal trying to keep possession and take the game to United early on. This is Merson. He could be a danger man. Takes on Parker. Parker sticks to his job, and a very timely challenge indeed. The black shirts point for a goal kick. The referee and the red shirts point for a corner. Excellent atmosphere inside Highbury. No love lost between these two clubs. Merson's corner comes out to Selly. Shot comes off the back of right, I think, and Mark Hughes gets stuck in to bring the ball away. They turn defence into attack. Cantona. They can't find Sharp. Now it's Dixon. Inside. He had right, but Paul Ince gets back to mop up the danger. But what a frantic start to this game. Sharp, he knows that he's back in the big time. Bold and Adams deal admirably with that United attack. Frantic moments at both ends of the field. Steve Bruce reading that particular high ball well. Seaman, good distribution again. Bruce battling with Smith. The referee waves play on. It's all locking of arms. Schmeichel as yet untested. This is Dennis Irwin. Cantona booed every time he gets the ball. I'm sure that doesn't surprise him, but I'm sure most of the calls are untranslatable anyway. Parker to Hughes, tries a shot, and Seaman's lost it. And Lee Sharp has put it in. Lee Sharp is back, and back with a vengeance. His first game of 1994, 10 minutes into it, he scores his first goal in 3 months, mainly thanks to Mark Hughes' shot, which was spilled A rather glaring error by the England goalkeeper. Took a nasty bounce just as Seaman was going to catch it, and Lee Sharp was on hand to finish it off in decisive manner. Bruce's header. Roy Keane really settling down in this United midfield. Cantona whistled that again. Hughes has sneaked in behind Bold and almost catches out Seaman again. His handling didn't look too sharp on that occasion either. Bruce, the umpteenth time winning the ball in the air. Cantona, close attention from Winterburn. And something's happening off the ball there. The linesman has signalled to the referee. And Roy Keane is not only going to be spoken to by Vic Callow, he's going to be booked, and that is very, very bad news for the young Irishman, because it takes him over 21 points. Here's the incident that you wouldn't have seen the first time. He went in with Davis, and I don't think he made contact, but by actually kicking out, gets the yellow card, and that's him out of the FA Cup semi-final against Oldham. So it's Merson to take the free kick, but an easy catch for Peter Schmeichel, who tries to launch an attack. Isn't too happy that he hasn't got players making moves for him. Brian Kidder, former Arsenal player, knows this ground very well. United appeal loudly and get the corner kick there. Giggs to take it. Aim for the far post where Keane's coming in. Gets ahead to the ball. Sharp's at him under. And offside. Arsenal not for the first time. Catching a team in their offside snare, led by Tony Adams. Smith and Bruce go up again, and again Bruce is the winner. Davis helps it on to right, he's sneaked through the defence. Great save by Schmeichel, danger's not over yet. Davis's shot, an inch off the line. Well, United let off the hook twice there in quick succession, it's still not away. Dixon to Merson. Winterburn again on the overlap. Gets the cross in, and Smith with a header, but Bruce sticking to his man. Ball didn't reach Ian Wright, and he's so dangerous when he wriggles free from defenders. It's the first time tonight we've seen him get away from Pallister and Bruce, and it really did bring the best out of Schmeichel. He normally scores in these situations, but of course he's up against a world-class goalkeeper, and then Paulin's getting back and doing a very good covering job on the line. Adams. Well, top quality entertainment for the packed Highbury Arena. Jensen. Smith. There's so much donkey work. Now Winterburn, who's playing almost as a left winger there. He wears that number 3 shirt and is listed in the programme as a left back. It could be a mistake to leave Ryan Giggs alone. Giggs cuts inside too, but the Arsenal midfield closing down. Almost 3-1 on him then. They know the danger of this young man. Davis. Jensen. Ian Wright's buzzing now. And the other Arsenal fullback Dixon gets forward. Lovely ball in. Merson had made a good run, but not so good because he was a yard offside as the ball was played. Peter Schmeichel just trying to calm down those players in front of him. It was an excellent pass from Lee Dixon, put it between 4 players, and Merson's timing was just a little off, though Schmeichel made the obligatory save anyway. Winterburn. Parker launches himself in, and that leaves United a little short at the back. Pallister's there. And so is Steve Bruce, who gets in a tangle with Smith. The linesman claiming that he'd fouled him, though I don't think the referee gave the decision. That was on the advice of the man with the flag in his hand. A free kick given in a position which is more dangerous than a corner. It's Merson to take it. A packed 6-yard box, and I think that comes off the toe end of Gary Pallister. Well, an own goal, but questions must be raised about whether it should have been a free kick in the first place. Paul Merson taking the credit from his teammates for delivering the ball in there. And it was Alan Smith who tangled with Steve Bruce in the corner. Bruce was insistent that it shouldn't have been a free kick in the first place. Bold went up, and there's confirmation that poor old Gary Pallister was the culprit, and he scores the own goal to make it 1-1. Key. Ryan Giggs has been snuffed out of this game. He's spent more of the time chasing Winterburn. Just a couple of minutes to go to half-time. Paul Parker. Shot from Mark Hughes, a carbon copy of the goal, apart from on this occasion Seaman didn't spill it and Sharp didn't put it in the back of the goal. But Mark Hughes' shooting has been on target, very precise, but a little bit too easy for David Seaman on that occasion. Merson. Selly. A quiet game in the Arsenal midfield. And doesn't win too many friends in the home crowd with that shot. It's a little bit of advice there from more experienced Paul Davis in midfield. He'll have to do a lot better than that to get Schmeichel onto his knees. Cantona is playing further upfield now. Hughes to Giggs. Cantona looked slightly offside, and that was the cry from the Arsenal backline, but very cool defending and strong concentration from Lee Dixon to get it back to Seaman. Had an excellent game, Lee Dixon. Now out of the England reckoning, of course. Look at that for a ball from Giggs, and exquisite control almost from Cantona, and Dixon using his upper shoulder. Real scrap going on in there, and Mark Hughes is one never to pull out of a challenge. Selly comes away from it bravely. This is Davis. Jensen to Selly again. Seconds ticking away in this first half. Lofted forward for Wright to chase. Pallister judges the bounce well. Ince. Owen. Lee Sharp's little flick doesn't come off, a dangerous area to try it. Dixon goes on a run, but a flying, well-timed tackle from Paul Ince. Giggs. Well, Lee Sharp maybe looking sharp, but he didn't have the pace to beat Tony Adams to that one. By Bruce to Sharp. Teases Bowl to the ball, but Bowl keeps his eye on it. Gets it back again. Selly. Arsenal beginning to take the game to United, but of course we know that Manchester United are dangerous when they counter-attack, and here's Giggs. Great save. Just a foot in from Seaman as Hughes puts it in again. Doesn't quite fall to Cantona, and nobody backing up from midfield. Ryan Giggs or Eric Cantona could have given United a valuable lead just before the half-time whistle. Wright keeps going, puts the ball just wide, but the referee's whistle, I think, had just gone. That goal wouldn't have counted. An excellent first half, real value for money for the fans, and Lee Sharp marks his comeback with a 10th minute goal, but Arsenal equalising just before half-time through a Gary Pallister own goal. 1-1.
First couple of minutes, Sparky's hit a volley, and I've just thought I'll take a gamble and follow it in. And Dave Seaman's dropped it. It's unlike him. It was a gamble by the manager, and it paid off.
I thought it was a difficult ball for the goalkeeper to handle, but nonetheless, he's dropped it. And Sharp is in quick as a flash, and he's put us up 1-0 up. And they've gone in at half-time 1-1 rather. And we felt that, we'd done better than that. So the second half, it's never going to be easy. And the second half wasn't easy because they did put the pressure on quite a bit.
And so it's going to be Arsenal to kick off this second half in an evenly poised game. No real indications of which side is going to claim maximum points. It looks like a draw written all over it at this stage. Little to choose between the two sides. Excellent saves from both goalkeepers. And plenty of attacking football from both sides. Ian Wright was given just one opportunity in the first half. Well marshalled by Bruce Pallister. Peter Schmeichel, of course, is soon to be banned after that sending off against Charlton Athletic in the FA Cup. There were rumours that Les Sealey may have played tonight, but Schmeichel keeps his place. But not a clean sheet. Lee Sharp showing willing. Changed wings with Ryan Giggs for the start of this second half. Keane on the right wing at the moment puts in a good cross. There's Giggs now on the left. Ince. Again, Arsenal pack their defence and canter forward through Merson to Smith, whose job really is to hold the ball up. You don't see him shoot in those situations. Sally passes on the responsibility. Good block coming in from Steve Bruce, who puts his body in the way of that shot. It looks rather painful. Davis's corner. Hughes gets back and helps out once and helps out twice. Now Sharp. Have to hold it up. He has little support in attack. Gives Merson the run around, but runs out of pitch to play in. Certainly looking fit and at his best again, Lee Sharp. Free header for Sally. Free chest for Keane. Now Parker. Little header from Cantona. One of his quieter games. And Mark Hughes has been well marked by Adams, but on that occasion Adams was climbing all over him. And a free kick in a scoreable position for Manchester United. Giggs and Dennis Irwin could be fighting over this one, and Lee Sharp can hit a ball from distance as well. Of course, they have that option again now. David Seaman going for just a three-man wall, as he did to Ronald Koeman's famous free kick. It's Giggs who takes this one, and Seaman watches it all of the way. And Giggs tries to curl that one in a very light breeze around Highbury, but unlike the Dutchman in the World Cup campaign, couldn't catch him napping. Wright's beaten bravely to the ball by Irwin, but he's broken away from Irwin. There's a chance for Wright, an important foot in from Pallister. And Steve Bruce getting involved as well. And as always, Peter Schmeichel berates his defence. Ian Wright looking like the coolest man on the field. Gould. Jensen goes in, trips over the ball. Good footwork from Cantona. Good shot from Hughes, but well, clean handiwork from David Seaman. That was a more difficult save than it looked from a powerful shot of Hughes. Arsenal go quickly onto the attack. Snuffed out by Parker. Cantona. Keane. It's an untidy challenge from Davis, but Keane not complaining. The game has flowed and the referee has allowed it to. Keane getting a little overexcited there. Not a nasty challenge, but the referee not getting away with anything. Many of Arsenal's goals come from set pieces, and of course they have the twin peaks of Bold and Adams to aim for on these occasions. This one's taken a little shorter though. Ince with the header. Wright can't try any of his tricks. And Ryan Giggs, he's got Dixon close at hand. Good challenge from Dixon. Pallister getting stuck in. And Irwin. And now Smith joins in, but Dennis Irwin wins that particular fight. Dixon gets it back. Arsenal fans baying for a cross. That's over Schmeichel. It's not too often that he leaves those. And Paul Merson getting a blow to the head as he tried to come in at the far post. A few words between goalkeeper and defence there, whether Schmeichel should have come for this cross. Beautifully delivered from Lee Dixon from deep. And Paul Parker beating two big men in the air, Adams and Merson, to put it out for a corner. It's going to be Merson to whip this one in. Oh, Schmeichel had lost it again. The defenders bailing him out. Ryan Giggs tugging at the shirt of Davis. The referee waving play on, and Davis gets some retribution. Well, Giggs can't believe it, but the referee is waving play on. But 6 of one, half a dozen of another. And the game continues to flow. Parker finds Giggs. Helps it out to Cantona. And the boos ring around again, but he puts one in, almost wipes the smile off their faces. And Manchester United have now. It's Lee Sharp again. Eric Cantona, the creator. And Lee Sharp with the old boogie woogie. Well, he enjoys playing football, and even more, he enjoys scoring goals and celebrating them. His second of the match. 53 minutes gone. The delivery from Eric Cantona, beautiful. Giggs flew in. And Sharp whipped in the second for Manchester United. And all of a sudden, it looks extremely serious for George Graham. Well, he remains tight-lipped. There's the option of throwing on his substitutes. It's the Manchester United fans who are now singing inside Highbury, despite being very much in the minority. Too often that you can say that at Premiership ground. Light rain for the players to deal with now as well. Cantona twists and turns away from some heavy duty challenging from Jensen. Manchester United just happy to push the ball along the touchline and take as much time as possible. Giggs, Cantona. Wright goes past two defenders. Screaming for the ball is Merson in the middle, but well, I suppose you could accuse Ian Wright of being greedy there. But so often you see him chip the goalkeeper in those situations. On that occasion, he may have been better advised to cross the ball for Merson, who had made a great run to the far post. Keane. Slows play down. Cantona rode that challenge well from Jensen, not for the first time. Now Giggs. Nobody in the middle. Winterburn away. Merson coming deep, looking for the ball. Very much the carrier, but Arsenal have lost their rhythm. Manchester United very much into theirs as Giggs takes on three defenders, beats them all. Can he deliver the cross? Yes, he can. Hughes can't get a connection. Maybe Ince can, and it's sky high. Paul Ince, after scoring 2 goals in 2 games, can't make it a hat-trick of scoring matches. It was Ryan Giggs who'd done all of the hard work. And he had to be quick thinking and a very quick shot from Paul Ince, but got his body and his foot underneath it. Smith. Right. Dennis Irwin having another one of his excellent matches. Alex Ferguson says he only has one bad game a season. On that ratio, he's possibly due one. The season 3/4 of the way gone. Ince thinking about another shot. That was until Davis brought him down. And that could be argued that it was a goal-scoring position. Now Davis will be lucky to escape a yellow card, and if you stuck to the letter of the law, it could really be a red card, because Ince would have had a shot which would have hit the target, and Davis knew what he was doing there. I think Paul Ince is pointing that out to Vic Callow, but a free kick in a very, very dangerous position. A split wall, this time a 5-man wall. There's Ince and Irwin in there, but Eric Cantona, the man looking most likely to take it. That he does, and chips it over the bar, much to the merriment of the locals. Eric Cantona, the man the away fans love to hate, and well, that was more in keeping with French rugby union. Smith. Steve Bruce again goes in, arms and legs everywhere. Appeals for offside, right. Brought the best out of Schmeichel as the rest of the United defence were appealing for offside. Peter Schmeichel was keeping his balance, getting his angles right and keeping his concentration, and that could prove to be a very important save. Twice Ian Wright is being one-on-one with Schmeichel, and twice Schmeichel has come off best. Irwin. Little flick from Cantona, but nobody there. Adams. Dixon helps it forward. 3 players come out and 2 stay back for United. Paul Parker. Cantona, little shove in the back from Adams, and Cantona responds with a little nudge to Adams. The referee gives a knock-for-knock decision, and it will be a throw-in. Substitute to be made for Arsenal. They're bringing on the brawn of Kevin Campbell and taking off the midfield finesse of Paul Davis. George Graham deciding to go on to the offensive. And Arsenal now have 4 attackers on the field, going for this equaliser. Ian Wright. Campbell making an early run to the near post, but close at hand in case Schmeichel had dropped that one. Good cross from Wright. Ince. Adams looks at that very confidently, but not when Eric Cantona's around. Oh, great pass from Cantona! And Lee Sharp was 1 yard offside. Beautiful skills from the Frenchman, showing no signs of nerves after that sending off on Saturday. And Alex Ferguson must be very happy with the way his team are performing, but of course still plenty of defending to do. Arsenal, one of the most professional sides, not only in England but in Europe as well. They keep going and going and going, a real machine of a team. Dixon winds himself up for the long throw. And Pallister quite content just to give away the corner. Steve Bold at the edge of the area. Tony Adams waiting on the penalty spot. Merson taking the corner kicks on both sides of the field. Aiming for Adams. Out jumps Pallister, and Peter Schmeichel had to be sure. Going over the bar and just tipping it away for a corner. It has to be said that Arsenal have the advantage in inches in the 18-yard box from these set pieces. Bold waiting at the far post again. Merson takes this one. Bold comes in late. Not well cleared into a ruck of players. And Selly with the shot. Oof, and a nasty challenge there on Alan Smith. And Dennis Irwin offering his apologies. The Arsenal fans baying for a booking. And, well, no excuses really can be made for Dennis Irwin's challenge there. It was high and it was late. Selly. Dixon. Merson weighs up the shot and scores! Well, the United defence went to sleep then, and Paul Merson woke them up with a loud bang. The ball crashing against the post, against the stanchion and nestling in the net, and Arsenal have equalised. Nobody willing to take responsibility for Merson, who had all the time in the world there to snap it into Schmeichel's goal. And 12 minutes to go, Paul Merson has saved the day. And the question is, do United settle for a draw, or do they go for a winner? A finely balanced game. Nobody leaving Highbury early. Paul Merson, match saviour. Can he be a match winner? Parker, a nice little shimmy. The crowd then, I think, changing the referee's mind. He was a good 20-30 yards away. Parker was shielding the ball, thinking it was going for a goal kick, and Arsenal have a corner kick. A referee's decision for a free kick in the first half brought Arsenal a goal. They're going to go against Manchester United again. Merson with the corner. Bold goes up there. Brilliant save from Schmeichel. I don't think he knew a great deal about it, but his reflexes were razor sharp there. Bold with a header. Little flick from Campbell, and I think it was Schmeichel who saved it with his mouth. Well, the United players will tell you he's got a big mouth. Rarely does he use it to stop shots and headers. Manchester United deciding to make a substitution. Lee Sharp, who must be very tired, goes off. On comes Ryan McClare for United. Bruce to Irwin. Hoists it forward. Cantona in there, but well marked by Paul Merson, who seems to be everywhere for the Gunners. Very well-timed challenge coming in on Selly. It promises to be a frantic last 10 minutes with quite a bit of stoppage time to be added on as well. Right. Can't find Campbell. It bounces off Parker to him now though, and Winterburn scurrying forward. Bruce's clearance. Jensen thinks about the shot. Still to score for Arsenal, the Danish international. A well-worn statistic that is. This is international colleague Schmeichel, hoisted upfield. Cantona and Bold go head-to-head. Hughes joins in, and so does Giggs. Across from Giggs, Cantona couldn't get direction on it. High foot from Bold, surely. And the referee gives the free kick the other way. Well, Mark Hughes asking referee Vic Callow why he's given the decision. He thought that Bold's feet were high, but I think the free kick was given for Hughes handling the ball. Here's the incident again. Cantona nodding it back. Well, the question is, what was first, Bold's foot up or Hughes' handball? The referee thought a hand was. Mark Hughes examining the stud marks around the midriff from the Arsenal central defender. Campbell's header to right. Cantona, great flick. Beautiful pass to Keane. Little foot in from Adams was enough. Cantona gets it back. Goes in strongly. And the referee listening to John Jensen there. Selly goes down. It wasn't a particularly nasty challenge from Cantona, but the referee signalling that he went in with his studs showing. And Cantona is going to get a yellow card. Hasn't been his week. Sent off on Saturday. Booked tonight. He bites his tongue as Selly receives treatment, and Cantona, well, was guilty of going with his studs showing, but it hasn't been a dirty game or a hot-tempered type of game. And that's how to tackle the Paul Parker one. Winterburn has a medium to long throw. Gets his target in his viewfinder, but it's Pallister away. Winterburn helps it in again. That should be Peter Schmeichel. He's lost it. Wright puts it in. And Wright begins his celebrations, but he's called back by the referee. It takes a lot to put Peter Schmeichel out of his stride. The referee deciding that Schmeichel was fouled as he went for Winterburn's cross there. And at the centre of controversy is Vic Callow. Cantona in for one challenge. Jumps away from Adams. And has been talked to by the referee. And he's given a second yellow card and a red card to match. Unbelievable! Oh, Manchester United chasing Vic Callow around Highbury, demanding an explanation which Steve Bruce, the captain, is entitled to. The referee can't change his mind, and Roy Keane would like the linesman to join in the argument. Meanwhile, Eric Cantona is already at the tunnel. Well, he went in protecting himself under the challenge from Jensen, and there seemed to be nothing wrong at all with the second challenge. It was 50-50 with Adams, who is a big man to go in with anyway. But Cantona is sent off. Well, we all know what is going to be making the back page of the tabloids tomorrow. Meanwhile, Paul Parker goes down, claiming a stray elbow. It's all got out of hand. Can Ryan Giggs bring some sanity to the game? Forward he goes. Dixon trying to catch him up. Goes back at Adams and just wide of the far post. What a match. McClare, now he goes down. The referee waves play on this time. Kevin Campbell. 90 minutes almost up. Merson. Chased by Irwin. Comes off Irwin, and another corner kick to Arsenal. All the more difficult for Manchester United to defend as they're down to 10 men. And arguably 9 men, because Paul Parker is struggling with that blow to the face from a moment ago. Ian Wright, one of his England colleagues, making sure that he's all right. Here's the goal that was disallowed for Wright. Even before that, Cantona sending off. Schmeichel went for it, and definitely an arm up from Alan Smith, putting Schmeichel off. And of course, since then we've had one of the most controversial sendings off of the season. King gets away the corner. Dixon to Merson, but Giggs comes back and skips around the challenges, and some valuable time will be wasted. I think Gary Pallister was appealing for an offside there. And probably PS, how long to go, linesman? Selly. Ball for Campbell to chase, but Schmeichel dropped it. It's still not over. Well, the most unpredictable game of the season. Goalkeepers, referees, they're all joining in the fun. All since Kevin Campbell came on as a substitute as well. Oh, plenty of entertainment for the 36,200 crowd inside Highbury. This, of course, one of many difficult fixtures for United. Villa on Sunday, then Liverpool at home and Blackburn away. Some season-shaping games all packed into a short space of time. And they'll argue that the pressure is getting to the men in black, but has been an excellent performance against one of the toughest teams in the Premiership. Oh, Jensen tries a little snapshot in the final minute of the game, and saved by his international colleague Peter Schmeichel. You'll argue the two best exports from Denmark since Bacon. Jensen with a shot and Schmeichel with a very smart save indeed. Still he seeks his first goal in an Arsenal shirt in the English leagues. Giggs has got a few. Manhandle there. His route blocked to goal by 3 players. Now, Wright only had 1 to beat, and that was Bruce, who put his foot in. The referee just calling a halt to play. I guess there's a player down in the Arsenal area with a head injury. Lee Dixon gets some treatment. Meanwhile, time to show you the Ryan Giggs run, and that's where Dixon took the blow to the head. Dixon okay to carry on though. And even more time to be added on. Ian Wright doing a little dance there, but he'd been caught out by the linesman's flag. Owen. And under. Knocked on and away by Adams. Giggs. Skill. Ghosts away from 1, 2, 3 players. Has to beat Adams, which is a difficult thing to do. Adams trips over his feet and rather fortunately comes away from the ball. Ian Wright is caught offside. Linesman, well, only a few yards away from him. Ian Wright didn't like the decision. United's free kick. Bowled there first. Parker. What a good pass. Campbell. Stolen by Roy Keane, who's done an excellent job, especially in the period since Eric Cantona was sent off. United keeping their discipline in defence. Jensen down injured and Peter Schmeichel almost giving the ball away. And he'll hold on to it this time. Nigel Winterburn could have done better with that. And it proves to be the final chance of a thrilling 90 minutes of football. Centre stage was Vic Callow. 2-2 it finishes. Paul Merson equalising for Arsenal 12 minutes before the end, but of course that wasn't the end of it. Eric Cantona sent off for the 2nd time in a week, the 3rd time this season. That's what will make the headlines, but also a great return for Lee Sharp. 2 goals on his return, and Manchester United still 6 points clear at the top of the Premiership.
We didn't lose it, but nonetheless the 3 points have been far better than what we got. Eric Cantona was booked for his first foul in the match in the 80th minute. And when you consider some of the challenges we know in the game, it has to be really ridiculous for a booking of that nature. But the second one, the ordering off, was even worse so. It disappoints you. It really does disappoint you. And they got the second goal where once again the referees intervened to get in the road of Dennis Hill when he was getting back to defend, and Dennis ran into him. So he played a very important part for Arsenal that night, the referee. But we got a 2-2 result, and at the time we were saying, well, it's not a bad result, you know, but it could have been better. Well, I hope you've enjoyed those videos and those goals and great games. So when the next video comes out, I'm sure you're going to enjoy them again. See you.